Hey everybody, Bruce Jones here, and welcome to another one of my Workbook MasterClass broadcasts. We're just talking about taking a little piece of the Workbook MasterClass and just highlighting it and kind of going into it a little bit of depth. I go into all this stuff in the class, but I thought I'd just kind of share some of it and let you know kind of what it is about. So today, this is sort of the meat of the story right here, is finding the hidden treasures in your content. So you might have written a book, you might be a consultant, you're a coach, you're a teacher, and you have a process, you have information, you're trying to share it. So it's looking at that content and seeing if you can pull out the little gems in it, the hidden stuff in it. So that's what I'm just going to talk about that briefly and go from there. So you want to look at your book. Some people write their books, and this is especially if you're an author, nonfiction, where you wrote a business book, a self-help book, a study guide, a how-to book, personal development book, anything like that. It's very likely that you might have put questions at the ends of the chapter, discussion questions, things to think about. You might have checklists in your book. You might have tasks in your book. You have resources in there. All of those elements can be pulled out and turned into a workbook. Why would you do this? Because now you have a second product that's related to the first, and you can sell more of it, you can sell bundles of it, you can put this stuff together. So if you just look at your existing book, see, you know whether you did that or you didn't do that. Even if you didn't do that, you probably have some of that information that is in statements or tasks, like you do this, then you should be doing this, then you should do that. Those can be flipped around and turned into questions or tasks or to-do lists or whatever it is that you do. Are you a consultant? Are you a coach? Are you a teacher? You have a process. You take people from A to B and move them along, having some development with them. They have a change in their life. They do something new. There's steps in there. Even at the very rough base level, you have chapter heads. That's the outline of your process. Hopefully you didn't do chapter 1, 2, and 3. You did, development to do this, this, this. They're bullet points. You made them descriptive. If you put those on a page, and made a PDF out of it, and we're giving a talk, and you sent like this, like right over like this, and you say, go download my, my worksheet or today's program or an outline of the program, people would go and do that because they need something to write the notes on. They need something to put information down on. So you have it, you just have to do it. If you're a consultant and you're always having different kinds of projects, you have a methodology or some part of that process there is where you are gathering information, and you probably do it in a very similar manner every time. Or if you're a consultant being paid enough on that project, you can make up a custom worksheet. So what do? You watch the key steps that you go through and you write them down. You're going to listen to the questions that people ask you. What's the number one question you get asked? You know it. It's on the top of your head. What is that number one question? What's the number 2 question? What number 3 question? You can see right away, you can put those questions onto a sheet or a page or a resource document or something like that. So let's just look at a couple examples I have here. So this was my book, my self-publishing secrets book. And this book, it has everything that I've learned from putting books together, and I've done a lot of them. In fact, the bookshelf back there is about 50 of them that I have, and I've been doing books for a long time. And this book is filled with checklists. In fact, let me just put this over here. This book is filled with, it has little checklists in it right there. There's a checklist, that's self-publishing checklist. And it has information, it has resources in the back, and it has steps and processes to go do things. Here are some key questions. Notice I'm always looking at improving and vetting. This is a PDF book. I don't really sell it in physical form yet, but I do. And then there's all kinds of information. So I took this and I pulled out all that stuff and I made this out of it. This is the Self-Publishing Secrets Checklist. And it is the same information, but just organized with some place for people to write stuff down. You can do sketches of your cover. You can little checklists of things that you need to do. So this, let me show you another one here. Let's see, here we have, and it's everything from publishing to the launching of the book to, look at all this stuff. All right. So now I have a companion piece. two pieces, pretty easy to make. One of them, I just put the word checklist on the front of it. I use the same cover, basically. Very similar cover. Oops, over here. And you have a whole package. My friend Ed Gaskin, and this is one of the case study videos you'll see in the course, because we're talking about the course, the workbook, the Workbook MasterClass. I did it was a really great case study with Ed Gaskin, and this was a book that he developed that was used in urban youth groups for discussions, basically for girls who have gang members as boyfriends, kind of a rough subject. But in the back of his book, he put a series of discussion questions right there, right? And then what we did after he finished this and found that people were buying it and using the book in their discussion groups, and where they were meeting, they were using these questions. We pulled these questions out, added some lines to them, expanded them, and made a workbook out of it. That was so successful that he then turned around and took that workbook and made a leader guide out of it. So you can take this 2 steps or 3 steps, and he also included in the leader guide, you can see he has a lot of information. He found other sources of information that related to this topic and put them in here so that somebody in some other part of the country can buy this package and know what to do. They can read this, get the background information, and can run their own youth groups because it's all here. And they also can buy the whole thing. So it's a very, pretty useful thing. Another case study that we have here, the Nancy May one, this one I go into marketing and all kinds of stuff, but she wrote her book filled with checklists and lists of information about how to deal with 911 for older parents, your parent or somebody you're taking care of or helping. Her book is chock full of checklists that you can use to make sure you have the right stuff. So this is a checklist on your household first aid items. She has another one here on your go bag that you use. It's just filled with them. So in that case study, she's going to take these checklists and going to pull them out and make a series of products, small PDF-able products that can be sold as individual pieces, all based from one effort. Now she'll have 12 plus the original book, maybe add some video to that, add some audio to it, and now you have a product that you can sell at multiple price points and do different things. So it's looking at your looking at your outlining your book's contents. Start with the table of contents. Then look into each chapter. If you wrote questions, great. You can start to put them in. Take it, put a line on it. Put some lines on it. Put a box around it. Put some space on it. Have an activity for people to do. In tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about how to make a sheet using probably Word. I'll probably do it in Word, and how to put together a little product sheet that you can use to supplement or support your podcasts or your talk. And then planning and consulting, coaching, teaching, your book, your product, your workbook is sort of figuring out what that plan is and how you're going to structure it and how to move people from A to B. So you look at your book and see what you have, outline this content, and then sort of figure out what do I have and what do I want my customers to customers, my students, my people in my seminar, what do you want them to walk away with and to do? So it's all sitting there. You already wrote it once, or you're already living it every single day. It's just putting it into some order, and then how can you use that order to support your clients, your customers, your students, whatever, and kind of put all that stuff together. So that's sort of the main thing. We all did it. We all have it. And we just have to pull that stuff out. So hope that's helpful. Give me a comment below or above or somewhere. There's a link. You can learn more about the course. Links either above or it's below, depending where you're seeing this video. So just a little bit what's in the course. We have a whole bunch of cool stuff. So there's a workbook example. I walked through a bunch of different examples so you can see the variety. It's just huge. How many kinds of workbooks and checklists and journals and things. It applies itself into pretty much every business. The hidden treasures, I go into that a little deeper than I just did, but looking at the content that you have. Key workbook tips. This one here, this video, this is a big one. This one of the main ones, I'll give it to you right here, is you don't have to write a book. Everybody says, I'm showing you books, but in reality, it can be a single page PDF, can be just as effective as writing a whole book. So remember, you don't have to do the whole book. Start out with a single page and then expand it from there. See how it goes. You can test it, try different things, see what the reactions are, and keep going. 3 case studies. Whoops. 3 case study videos. We have Graham Reese, who took a workbook and turned it into a book. So that's kind of cool. He flipped the process. You can certainly do that. Then I have Ed, who started with a book with questions, then made a workbook, and then made a leader guide. So he built a nice package. And then Nancy, who is just about publishing that book. It's filled with the checklists, how to take this content that you have and repurpose it to do new cool things with it. I wrote a book myself in the process of putting this course together. I started writing everything down, so that's included. There's the workbook tips and resource PDF book. That those are all my resources that I have, that I use, all my go-to stuff. I put them all into a PDF book so that you can get access to that depending on what you need to do. I talk about publishing and marketing your workbook, different ways that you can do that. It's kind of cool. We live in such a world right now where we have access to broadcasting, marketing, distribution, advertising, and manufacturing are all basically, you can do all those things for free. Print on demand, YouTube, right here. We're right on here on YouTube, right on Facebook. Advertising is, we have social media for media. We have Facebook ads and Google ads for advertising. And we have Amazon for self-publishing and just regular PDFs. So we talk about all that. Design 101. This is a cool video. This is just to kind of make your books look more professional, make your sheets. I gave you some basic design concepts that anybody can do. Talk about cover, how to make your cover, especially if you're not printing. But even if you're printing, there are free sources for getting covers made, or relatively cheap. It's a great way to go. The workbook templates, elements templates, just elements that you can put into your workbook. I've done them in Word, done them in Word and Google Docs, PowerPoint, which also works on Google Slides, and InDesign. So I'm showing you, I just did some videos on how to make those things, but you also can just pick the whole piece up and stick it in your workbook. So basic common things that I've sort of laid out. And the bonus, one of the bonuses we have for this is the live Zoom training. We did one on Saturday night. The course runs open till the end of the week, and then I'll do 2 more Zoom calls. They were so much fun. It was a Saturday night call, and we had 8 people and myself, so 9 people, just sharing all kinds of ideas about their projects and workbooks, and a little bit of training that we threw in there. So all that together is $14.50, but for this this package and the launch of this Workbook Masterclass, it is $99, and there is a coupon, the Workbook Opened. Be sure to use that, and it gets at $49. So after you go to the link right here, you can see it right below, and you'll do that, fill in your money, and then you will be sent to this page from an email. You get an email, there's a link, and you can go and just, there it is. All the stuff is there. You can stream it or you can download it. So all pretty easy stuff to do. So hope that helps. Love the questions. Put them in the comments below. Put them wherever it is you're watching this, and we'll go from there. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, where I will be creating a document online so you can see how easy it is to create your own worksheets for your stuff. All right, I will see you soon. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.